Good evening, everyone. This is a special PTSA meeting, and it will come to order. Let the minutes reflect that we have a quorum. I am Brian Rabin, PTSA president. I have two kids here at Wooten, 10th and 12th grade, and I have a 6th grader over at Cabin John. I would like to welcome our new families and also our returning families. This is a special meeting of our PTSA. The reason why we're meeting here outside is because Maryland PTA requires PTA business to be voted on by general membership at an in-person meeting. And for those not familiar with the structure of PTA, our PTA is a local unit, as is all of Montgomery County school-based PTAs, and all of them are chartered by the Maryland PTA. And therefore, we must follow their governance and bylaws. Many members are not aware that our local PTA falls under the Montgomery County Council of PTAs, and then Maryland PTA, and finally under the National PTA umbrella. We have not held an in-person meeting since January, so it's been quite a long time, and therefore we haven't been able to vote on any business items since then, and that's why we need the meeting tonight. In normal circumstances, we would hold our first PTSA meeting of the school year in September once school kicks off. PTSA meetings take place monthly on the third Tuesday of the month at 7 p.m. For at least the first semester, PTSA meetings will be held virtually using Zoom, like it is tonight, and will be recorded to be viewed at a later time, and we'll post it to our website, the PTSA website. So please, for everyone in attendance, if there's any questions, it is being recorded. We have speakers at every meeting, except in December, when we have a panel of alumni come back to share their experiences at college. We do appreciate any feedback and all your ideas for speakers or other events and activities. And this year will be a little bit unusual, as we're going to be doing a lot of virtual activities, and so we need those ideas. PTSA sponsors events at the school under normal circumstances, and we will be this year sponsoring the upcoming virtual college fair that will take place in the fall, and more information will come out about that. At this time, we're not sure about other events, but we do look forward to supporting many events throughout the school year. We are continuing this year to purchase an interlocking tile floor for upcoming and other events that take place in the gym to replace the old tarp that was taped down, such as for homecoming. There was a big blue tarp that was taped down beforehand, and it was a lot of work to put down and take up, and it was difficult to dance on. And so last year, we started fundraising to replace it with an interlocking tile floor that is easy to put down, but will protect the floor, and it's easy to store. Please visit the new Wooten PTSA store to pick up your Wooten gear, and all purchases will support the fundraising effort for the interlocking tile floor, as well as any other fundraising efforts that we do throughout the year. We have many ways to communicate to you, including our grade-based email list. You received messages regarding this meeting through those lists, and the 9th graders have been added to the email list. We also post information on the new PTSA website. If you haven't been there, please visit the website. We have a nice new site with a lot of great information that you'll be able to find throughout the year. And additionally, we share information via our PTSA social media networks. And we have a great comms team this year that will be supporting the efforts of getting communication out to everyone. If you haven't yet joined PTSA, please do. Although we won't be having in-person events, at least for the first semester, we will continue supporting our students, our teachers, and the school. So those memberships are really important to help us in being able to do that. Tonight we have 3 pieces of business. We have our vote to approve the budget. We're having a vote for a first vice president for our executive board. And we have to approve the minutes from January, which was our last meeting. So at this time, we're going to move now into the budget. And hopefully you've had a chance to take a look at that. It is posted so that you can see it. And for those in attendance at this meeting, you can pull it up on the PTSA website and be able to view it as we talk about it. So last year we brought in $28,745 in total receipts, and $17,450 of that came from parent memberships. Although we usually aim to increase our receipts year over year, we know that due to the pandemic, memberships and donations may be down this year. We actually had over 1,000 members when you include parents, students, and teachers. So we were very pleased. That was a very high number for our school, and one of the highest in high school PTSAs. So please join. Just so you know, your membership, part of your membership goes to support the MCCPTA, which is the Montgomery County Council PTAs that I mentioned, is the overarching umbrella for the county PTAs, and $1 of your membership goes to support them. And then the Maryland PTA, which charters all the PTAs in Maryland, $4.25 of your membership fee, of your membership dues, goes to Maryland PTA. And then the remainder of the dollars goes to support our local PTSA. And that's how we do a lot of the things that we do throughout the year. So we have other items throughout the budget that we support. We have grants for teachers and students, and we're increasing that line this year because we want to, we'll have the funding to support those types of activities. Our objectives throughout the year the objectives for PTSA throughout the year tend to go for a lot of different things. For our meetings, we tend to have meetings. We have our meetings monthly, as I mentioned, and we do purchase food. We have dinner at those meetings. So there's some savings in some of the things that we're not going to be doing this year. And we're reallocating those funds to other activities, especially the grants funds, which we've increased, so that there'll be more funding for students and teachers. We do have a grants committee. That grants committee meets whenever grants come in. They meet to review and vote on the grant coming in, and so that's how we we have a democratic process for determining which grants to fund throughout the year. The odds are very good. We had some carryover items. We raised $859 last year for the interlocking tile floor for the gym. These funds will be carried over each year until we raise enough to buy the floor. Unfortunately, we haven't had an opportunity yet to get the estimated price on the floor because of what's happening right now. We were hoping to, we were working with David Adams, the business manager for the school, and we were going to get an estimate from multiple companies to be able to determine what the cost was. So we're going to be working on that as soon as we can and get that estimate. But meanwhile, we'll continue raising funds so we can purchase that floor. We have an idea of the cost. For the school store, please go and buy all your gear. We have amazing gear. I was going through the site with my kids last night. They were very excited with the selection of Wooten gear. So we hope that all of our 9th grade families buy gear, and any of our returning families. And everything you buy does support the PTSA and the floor that we are raising money for. 10% of all sales will be returned to the PTSA. There are other ways that we raise money throughout the year as well. And those funds get raised for things like Amazon Smile, where you can go into your Amazon account and pick Wooten PTSA as the beneficiary of the donations. The percentage comes back to us, and every dollar that we get through fundraisers is going to go towards the floor, which will be probably in the $4,000 to $5,000 range, but we're not sure the exact cost. So at this point, I'm going to stop and ask if there are any questions regarding the budget in any of the activities that I mentioned that is funded by the budget. And if you do have any questions, you can, and you're on our Zoom, you can type them in the chat box, and we'll be able to see those questions and be able to respond to them. Right, so if we do not have any questions, we're going to go ahead and take our first vote of the evening, and that will be on approving the budget as provided to you online on our website. So if we can get a motion from somebody who is in person.
I move that we approve the 2021 budget for the PTA.
So we have our first from Shamil. Okay, and then what is your name, please? I'm sorry, Lori. Marilyn Pierre. Okay, all those, and this is only for those in person, but all those in favor of approving the 2020, 2021 budget, please say aye, or raise your hand. Okay, thank you. And anyone who does not votes against the budget, then say nay or raise your hand. Okay, the budget is approved. Thank you. So our next item tonight is our election for the first vice president. And we have our candidate who is here, who is going to come and introduce himself. And I'm going to step aside and have him come by and introduce himself.
Hello, Wooten family. My name is Yul Peters, and I am very honored to be part of this PTSA and also play my part and do what I can to support the mission, the president in this position as the first vice president. To tell you a little bit about myself, I am a licensed special educator and school administrator. And I spent the last 20 years in education. I am currently working as a special education manager where I in a school setting, and I enjoy a number of activities, extracurricular activities, photography. I also do some coaching of girls volleyball. So I have a son at Wooten, and he is a rising 9th grader. He is an avid basketball player who, over the COVID season, has grown taller than me and is now happy to dunk the ball. That's just a little bit about myself. I look forward to the opportunity to work with the school administration, work with the executive committee, work with parents and fellow members of the PTSA to work towards the mission and our goal. So thank you very much.
Thank you. And so now we will hold a vote to approve Yul as our first VP. We have a motion. What is your name, please? Melanie Bodie. Thank you. Shamil seconds the motion. All in favor? The motion passes. Congratulations. Unanimous. So we didn't have, as I mentioned, we didn't have a chance to approve our January minutes. Those are posted, also up on the PTSA website. Does anyone have any corrections to offer for the January minutes? Okay, there being no corrections, the minutes are approved as written. And I think we had, let's see, we have a couple of questions. Okay, we did have a question as to how does one join the Booster Club? Is this a separate organization? And the answer to that question for those in attendance here is yes, it is a separate organization. Booster supports all of our sports clubs, all of our teams, and it is a separate organization. So now I'm gonna like to introduce to you our principal, Kimberly Bolden, and we're very pleased to have her here for the principal's report.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us live and virtually. I must say that I've always been impressed with this PTSA, but to see this operation and how they were determined to continue the good work of the PTSA, despite tremendous obstacles, really magnifies and underscores truly the commitment to the work of the PTSA. So I would just like to say thank you to Brian, to the entire executive board for all of your commitment. And Nikki, a special thanks for pulling all this off so that we can broadcast to you tonight. What a semester and a half we have had. And I want to start with this. We are very excited to welcome your students back in almost 2 weeks, about 2 weeks. We have been incredibly busy this summer to ensure that no matter the circumstance, that we do some things really well. One is to support all of our students and our families during this pandemic, to make sure that they have the social and emotional support that they need. Two, we are a strong community. So it was also incredibly important for all of us that we continue to build that community within the classroom and within the school. We've met a lot with student leaders over the summer to figure out exactly how do they want to pull this off, because this is their space. And they have come up with some really creative ideas through the SGA, through individual classes, through extracurricular clubs and sports and athletics, as well as within the school environment. And so whatever this fall will bring, I want you to hear one thing. We are committed to doing our very best to support our students and our families. That's always our mission and our goal. And we have a dedicated staff that really works to make that happen. And of course, it cannot happen without the strong partnerships that we have with our parents and our families. And so once again, it underscores the importance of this body and making sure that we are all united in serving our students and our children well. So with that, I just want to be able to give you a few school updates and to make sure that we're clear on a few pieces that are coming our way. And I'll start with a ConnectEd message that I sent out on Sunday night regarding Chromebooks and materials return. So Wooten is gearing up, and all of MCPS actually is making sure that there is technology for every student to have. If you've looked at any of the draft schedules, you'll notice that all of our students from elementary to high school are in a virtual learning environment from approximately 9 to 3:30 or so. And while we're still waiting for that schedule to be approved, part of the thinking and what the work we have to do now is to make sure that every student has technology and has a Chromebook that they can access their coursework. And so in that initiative, from August 24th through August 28th, we will be scheduling families to come by. It's a drive-by to pick up their technology. It will happen in front of the main office. And basically, you will be able to pick up a Chromebook for your students who attend Wooten. If you have students who attend in other areas, please know that you will have to go to Cabin John, Frost, or the feeder elementary schools to pick up their technology, because it is connected to the students within each level. So please just know that's a little different if you picked up technology in the spring, that we will be equipped to give the technology to our students. They are upgrading some of the technology, and in that message, it explained how you can return some of the Chromebooks that were issued prior for upgraded models. And so if you please take a look at that communication to know if your child, if whatever technology your child has in terms of a Chromebook, if it's eligible for an upgrade, bring that back, and then we will exchange. If you look on the back of the Chromebook, all of the model numbers are there. So that is a good way to ensure that you have, you know, which technology. One piece that may not have been incredibly clear, and I apologize about that, if your student has their own technology, they have a laptop, they have a Chromebook, whatever the family provides, that will still be compatible. You do not have to pick up a Chromebook if you have the technology available in your home and it's readily available. If you have more than one student enrolled and you may need a second device because they're all going to be on at the same time, then you may want to consider getting a Chromebook. But if you have the technology, their own laptop, you have that squared away, please do not worry about picking up an additional Chromebook. The other piece that we will be doing on that week, from Monday through Friday, is collecting all of the materials that we did not collect at the end of the school year. We collected materials from our seniors and got them cleared. Yay, class of 2020. So all of their materials have been returned. We need to collect all of the other materials. So when families come and pick up their Chromebook, we've tried to simplify it and have families return the materials. There is a control sheet that we are asking all families to fill out before they come with their materials. No need to put it in bags. Just fill out the control sheet so we can clear the obligation for those materials and return it in this, where we are now in the lower lot. We'll have folks available ready to take all of those materials. They will be sanitized, and then we will announce when our distribution of those materials will take place in the coming weeks. So just want to clarify that. I will be putting some information on our website to reinforce this message, and I will also be sending out another ConnectEd about next week's Chromebook distribution and materials return. Again, every day we'll be here until 9 to 3:30. We did alphabetize it, and so to continue with social distancing and make sure that people are able to come in pretty quickly and smoothly. So as much as possible, if you can adhere to that schedule, that time frame, that would be really helpful. We have over 2,100 students in our school, and so as much as we can spread it out and have cars coming in an orderly fashion, that would be great. For Chromebooks, you do need to have a paper with the last name, first name, student ID, and grade on that sheet of paper that you just hold up from the window, and then we will make sure that you have a Chromebook. And then again, just use the control sheet and the materials to return down at the lower lot. If you do not need to pick up a Chromebook, but you have materials for your student to return, just come directly to the lower lot, and there will be personnel here assisting in that matter. And again, I'll send out some more clarifying messages and reminders about next week's return. And I really appreciate in advance your cooperation. We have become pros at drive-by drop-offs and pickups. And so we hope that it'll be an orderly, smooth process for you, and you'll get exactly what you need to be set for the school year. Speaking of the school year, we have a few key events that are coming up in connection with the start of the school year. We will be having a 9th grade orientation and a new to Wooten orientation. That will be on August 27th from 9 to 11. Again, you'll be getting communication very soon about this. August 27th from 9 to 11 is a 9th grade orientation and a new student orientation. We do this every year. It will be virtual. We do it every year. It's led by our Patriot Ambassadors. It's an opportunity. We're going to really focus this year on being successful in our virtual environment. So students will hear messages about how to log into Zoom, how to use My MCPS Classroom, and they also have an opportunity to meet their teachers. So it's very important for students to be able to practice going into all of their sessions and have an early sort of preview of how they navigate My MCPS, to do their Zoom sessions, and to meet their teachers. So we're excited. And again, we'll plan that and make sure that there's plenty of communication about it. I'll also tell you that although it is a live event, we also will be recording the event. So should your student not be able to participate next week, they can always go back and hear those opening messages in the recorded message. In addition, I want to remind all of our families that the first day of school is Monday, August 31st. So we are gearing up. In addition to next week's Chromebook distribution materials collection, that is pre-service week for our teachers. So they come back next week and begin to prepare for the school year. And then that following week on August 31st, we will be excited to welcome all of our students back. And then the other big event that evening is September 3rd, Thursday, September 3rd. We always have back to school night, and we're doing it this year. It will be virtual, of course, but at this point, it's going to be an evening event. And we are figuring out the mechanics of making sure that families are able to access all of the Zooms so that they can meet their teachers, hear from the PTSA, hear from building leaders about this awesome year we are going to have together. So those are two key events, Thursday, August 27th for ninth grade orientation and new student orientation, and Monday, August 31st, all students come back. And on Thursday, September 3rd, we have back to school night. Earlier this week, or excuse me, last week, you received a copy of your student schedule in the mail. We needed to verify course selections and to make sure that what your student signed up for is accurate and that we have no problems with schedules. And so there is a form on our website. If it meets a criteria, if your student is missing a period, if there is something that there's a level difference, for example, your student took a summer class and they no longer need a class that's on their schedule, there is a form that parents can fill out to make sure that all of those changes are noted, and then our counselors are working very hard to make those changes so that the schedules will be available on August 26th. So that's the Wooten schedule. I want to transition to some of the news you may have been following about the schedule for virtual learning environment. That schedule, there's a draft of it for the high schools, what that should look like. We will know after the board votes on August 25th if they approve that schedule. And once that occurs, then we will begin to publish that schedule so that all of the families know how their course selections, their students' course selections, will then match to what they're doing in a virtual environment. And if you take a look at it, it looks like there are 4 periods on one day, 4 periods on the next day, and they meet with each of the periods twice a week, with Wednesday being a special day to catch up, to meet with their teachers should they have any questions or concerns. But I encourage you to look at the MCPS website to familiarize yourself with the schedule, with the draft of the schedule, and tune into the board meeting on August 25th, where they will vote on that schedule. And we will move pretty swiftly after that to publish our schedule and to orient our students to the virtual experience. I will say that we had a set schedule that was similar to that when we did our continuity of learning in the spring. However, the time that's being proposed is a little bit longer. So if you want to, please look on the MCPS website for more information regarding this schedule. And I think the other piece, we are working feverishly to make sure that our students have a great experience this semester. And there are some areas that we're still working through. And so I really appreciate your continued patience and your support as we work through it together. But as I said at the beginning, our common goal, PTSA, all of the staff, is to make sure that our students have an awesome experience. So we are very excited to welcome our students back. Even when I see a student and they're just coming to pick up a yearbook, I get so excited because this is their place and we want to make sure it's a great place for them. So with that, I just want to say welcome back to the 2021 school year. And I look forward to communicating with you throughout the year. And should you have any questions or concerns, please do not hesitate to reach out. We will be putting a communication a manual, if you will, on our website so that you know how to be in touch with people if you need to get in touch, always starting with the teacher and then resource teacher, counselor, administrators, we're all available. We know that this summer was a little tough as we're working out our communication tree and our communication method, but we will make sure we have all of that informed so that you know what to do. The other piece I want to mention is about technology. We all use MyMCPS Classroom as our platform for all students. We're upgrading that so that we have commonality in terms of the experiences our students have when they go to the homepage. We're working on consistent Zoom links so students do not have to worry about finding different Zooms every day for a different class. So we've been really smart in taking, or really thoughtful in taking the lessons learned from the spring and the summer to establish best practices for our virtual environment. And the other news related to technology is that the county has moved to a new system called Synergy, and it is an integrated system where grades, attendance, your view of different information will all be one-stop shopping. You should be getting some information directly from MCPS about your parent view in Synergy. So that is going to be coming to you shortly. And the other plug I'm going to make is if you have not checked your MyMCPS account lately, make sure all of your information, your phone numbers, your email addresses, those are up to date. As you can imagine, that's more important than ever now in our being able to stay in touch and communicate with one another. So make sure that all of those accounts, Naviance, all of the ways that we communicate out for different events and for different reasons, make sure that those are on so that you are receiving the notification. I know how frustrating it can be if you are not receiving notifications about things that are happening, but it's very important, first and foremost, your information is accurate and the way that you want to receive that communication is delivered by your going in and updating your selections. And the PTSA stands ready to help with any of that information. We stand ready to help with any of that information that you may need to make those upgrades. And we're very excited, like I said, to welcome our students and our families back in a few short weeks. Are there any questions? I'm sorry.
There's nothing on the chat.
Okay.
If anyone has a question, feel free to step up and ask the question.
All right. Well, once again, welcome back and a tremendous thank you for all of your work and your partnership this year. I look forward to working with everyone again this year. Thank you. Have a great evening.
Thank you, Ms. Golden. So if any of you need to reach out to us at the PTSA, on our website, you can find the PTSA contact information, and you can email us that way. We do have some open positions available. We have a vacancy for recording secretary. That is an officer position. We have the student engagement co-chair. That position is a member of our board. We have the Latin Parent Student Network liaison. A person is also a member of our board. We have the Wooten PTSA delegate. That delegate attends the MCC PTA, the Montgomery County Council, a PTA General Assembly meetings and votes on behalf of Wooten. There are 2 delegates and 1 is open. We also have an opening for a Wooten cluster representative actually, we have one representative. We can have up to two, and that's for the all of our schools. We have 9 schools within our cluster. Those cluster schools all meet together 3 or 4 times during the year to discuss our common interests. And those are really good meetings, and the cluster representative represents Wooten at those meetings. And then finally, we have a position open for a parliamentarian, but that's a position that we don't usually fill. One thing that I did not mention was with your membership, you do receive a student directory. So that is something that you will get as part of your membership in addition to supporting PTSA and the school. So this is an unusual meeting that we're meeting in person. We do not plan to have many of these meetings throughout the year, or at least throughout the first semester. And the last, there's a meeting where we need to hold a vote. So now that we voted on the budget, we should be good for a while on the budget. And if we do get a recording secretary candidate, we may need to set up an in-person meeting to vote. Yes. Recording secretary? Okay, well, please come up just a little bit closer. And I'm gonna move out of the way. We do have a recording secretary candidate.
Good evening. I'll make this real quick. My name is Mira Subramanian. I have kids in Travilla and now rising freshman at Wooten. So I usually try to help out everywhere I can, just a little bit. So I think recording secretary is a place where I can do. Just with work and everything like that, lots of note taking. So I think I can handle that. And then I'll try to help in wherever else I need. But looking forward to the new year.
All right, that's such great news. Okay, so we are going to have one more vote tonight. So we have a candidate for recording secretary. Do we have a motion to approve? Thank you. And this is Melanie Brody has made the first motion. And do we have a second? Okay, and we have Shamil who has made a second motion. All in favor, please raise your hand. Okay, we have, it's unanimous. So Mira is approved. Thank you. Congratulations. So please join us for our next PTSA meeting. It will be on September 15th at 7 p.m. We look forward to having Ms. Bolden again and some other guests for back to school information. We plan to have somebody coming from MCPS to talk about the new technology that Ms. Bolden mentioned so parents can understand how to use it and ask any questions. So it will be a great meeting. Please come and join us on Zoom. That information will be sent out through the PTSA emails and posted on our website and social media networks. So thank you everyone for joining us tonight for this special general meeting, and have a great evening. Thank you.